if you are listening to this, welcome to 2026. Everybody, we now made it through another year. 2025 is a very interesting year. I think a lot of people for it's just like the year is just weird for everybody. Like it was weird for me. It was weird for a lot of people. Like it, like it wasn't like I don't want to say it was a bad year because I don't think it was a bad year for me, but it was just weird. It was like a lot of stuff was just happening where it was just like very weird. But I witnessed a lot of things. I witnessed loss, and this is what I'm going to be talking about today about um, 2025 and witnessing loss. First things first. The when you listen to this is January 2nd. Now, January 2nd is the day of my youngest baby sister, Male Elizabeth Jean. That is her full name. She would have been, let's see, 30. Brother's gonna be 20, turning 28. She would have been 29 today. So yes, my little sister, she passed away when she was a baby, about maybe 4 to 6 months. So today is like it would have been her birthday, so she would have been 29 today. So I wanted to say happy birthday to my life, as always. Every year, and like this is always a sad year for my family. It's just like because that's the first time we ever really witnessed loss. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. I'm waking up and my mother was like hysterically crying down the hallway. And I was wondering what was wrong. I walk into a room and my dad is giving my baby sister CPR. And like and she wasn't breathing. Always, if you ask me, like as far as I know, she died in her sleep. So me and my brother we stayed home. We stayed home. They took her to the hospital, and we was just hoping she would be being okay. We was playing the Super Nintendo, and I think it hurt my brother more than it hurt me. It hurt me. Don't get me wrong. It hurt me because I cried and everything. But I think it hurt him more than it hurt me. But and my brother's 5 years older than me, so I think it was just like it was the first time we ever witnessed loss, and it's also the first time where like you ever heard that lesson: be careful who you speak ill of the dead. Now and because my sister had to go through it because it's like I don't know who, but it was sometime after Male passed away. My older sister, someone said something negative, right? And I don't know if she didn't like my sister or not, but my older sister beat the brakes off of her. They say like to this day she blacked out and beat the brakes off of that girl because she said something ill about my baby sister passing away. My sister was not letting that slide. She beat her ass. So that was like the first lesson to not speak ill of the dead. Now I've never spoken ill of the dead before, which is why I never liked the way Charleston might speak about the dead or some shit like that, because I feel like it does come back to you, as it will go, as it will like when my sister beat that girl ass. But to me it was just like going. Now I've been to funerals before, like my granddaddy's funeral. He was my great grandfather, but I called him my granddaddy. And like to me, it was one. And according to my mama, it's one of the funniest funeral stories. But that's when I didn't understand the concept of death, because when my granddaddy died, we went to the funeral. I walked up to his casket, and I started trying to wake him up. So I'm up to his casket, and I'm like, "Granddaddy, wake up!" And I used to just go up to. This funny thing is, because I used to just go up to my granddaddy's room, because my grandparents, my granddaddy, he was one of the first people I remember, because anytime we would go to New York, and they lived in Long Island, Central Islip, they lived up there, and I used to just go up to my room, and then, my granddaddy, he used to have this rocking chair he was always in, and I was just always kind of like just being there with my granddaddy. He was like all the time. I just stayed up there all the time. Like when he died too, and I'm over there in the funeral. Wake up, granddaddy, wake up. And this is what, I don't remember it, but this is what my parents tell me all the time. It's one of the few stories I get all the time, because that's the type of child I was, that I'm always giving out memories. So, like either my mother or my grandmother just snatched me up, and it just snatched me up. It's like, she just won't. He won't get up. Why won't he get up? And like I said, I didn't understand the concept of death. It was like watching my baby sister go through that, and like in that little casket. It was a cute little pink casket too. It was a very cute casket, I think. And it was just like, I just remember could not stop bawling my eyes out. Like that was just one of those days where it's just like, that shit hurt. Now 2025. And it's funny because I'm talking about loss, because I just finished watching Ali Sadiq's stand-up special, The Domino Effect 2, where he used to talk about the loss of his baby sister, and that shit hit me. And that shit, because I was watching it before Male's birthday was coming up, and like listening to that, like, it's funny because I knew that in that story he was going to mention his sister, because he's done interviews about that, and yet I knew it was coming, and I still was heartbroken because of the way he delivered that special. And it's just like, because of that, I had to think about my grandmother and my uncle. Now 2025, I lost both my uncle and my grandmother within a few months of each other. I think my uncle a little bit like at the end of 2024, start of 2025. It was around that time. I remember that day because like everybody was blowing me up. And it was like early in the morning. Everybody was blowing me up. My auntie, my like people that I just don't really talk to on a regular basis, and it's not like we had a falling out. I haven't just heard from no one. My group, like my immediate family, we have a group chat with each other. They was trying to hit me up. My mama was trying to hit me up. Everybody's and to me, it was like 6 a.m. So I was just like, what the hell is everybody calling me for? And all that other stuff. And then like my aunt hit me again, and I was like, hey auntie, what's wrong? She was just like, your uncle passed away. And I remember just like I asked them how they was doing. They was like they was going to try to get everything done. Now my uncle, I will say this, he was like he was a pastor first. God, to me, he's like one of God's greatest soldiers. I've always said that, and he's just one of God's great. Anything you wanted to ask him about that's Bible related, you go to my uncle. Like he knew that thing front to back. He knew that thing like it was his handy dandy notebook. Like he had his own pastor. He had his own little Church of God in Christ. He knew he's gone to conventions. He's told his stories, and like my uncle, like in that, or my uncle Walter, He was very, very known. He like he knew Donnie McClurkin. Like Donnie McClurkin did his funeral. Also, he did my grandmother's funeral, but I'm gonna get to that too. But like he did his funeral. Now, my uncle, he was also like the proverbial glue on my mother's side because, like, again, I don't really hear much from my mother's side except for my cousin, who was like a year younger than me, and I always hear from him. But that's just my cousin. Like me and my cousin, that's like my little brother. I know we cousins, but I always say we more like brothers, even though like he be doing this thing. Love you, cousin, by the way, but it hurt him too. Like I said, it was like it hurt him. It hurt my older brother. It hurt everybody because it's just like he was the proverbial glue to us, and he was trying to hold the family, generational. Let's just say this: the generations of them trying to like keep the family together. Everybody goes to him. That's what he was. He was like that patriarch, and he took that with pride. And I love that. I love that about him because I think because part of that keeps with me where I'm trying to because I'm growing up with family, right? And like I try to instill that outside my family where it's just like some people just need somebody, and like I said, when like people like wanted to get to know somebody, they come. It was at one point like people was coming to me and was like, "Yo, you heard what happened and so and so?" I was like, "I can find out," and then like, I try to relay the message back, and I try to do it the best way I can because my uncle was doing that. Because like everything like family traits, I try to revert that because like not other people's. This is when I realized not other people's families was as close as mine. Like not just the immediate family, but more or less of the family trait. People just not as close to their family as I am with mine. And I never knew how much of a privilege that was. So, with that being said, like it started with my uncle because he was like, he would try. Like I said, everybody goes to him at one point. So when he passed away, it was just like that was. I don't want to say that was severed, but I feel like even then, like he's still trying to keep us together, and like I'm seeing cousins and like people that I haven't seen in years, decades. And if anything, let's just say my cousin that I call my brother, I haven't seen his mother. I haven't seen his mother since I was a teenager. And she just secluded. She just keep it to herself, which is fine with that. It's like I never had no problem with that. Part of me understood why, but the first time I seen her, I was like, "Oh God, is that who I think it is?" But and then like the only thing I regret is not going to his funeral because it was just like last minute, and it was like on a Monday, and it was just like I couldn't have the time to take off work or bereavement. I couldn't get the bereavement to get off work to go up there, but I did watch the funeral because they had it on Facebook Live, and it was a beautiful funeral. Like I said, Donnie McClurkin was there. I saw my immediate family there, and all that. Now, my grandmother. This is going on to my grandmother. My grandmother, first things first, one of the most beautiful voices that you ever hear. If you ever listen to Benny Cummings Choir, she has the most angelic voices that you would ever hear. And my grandmother, I was always say, she's like my first love. It was just like my grandmother is my first love, and Miss Betty Jean Davis. Like, I love that woman to death. Like, she would live with us, and I will always try to like peep game from her. And she was just as religious. She, like, she also do the Bible like the back of her hand. She always prayed over us. Like, to then, I've always felt like my grandmother was always praying over us. To this day, I still think she's praying over me now. So, even in our afterlife. Now, that one, I was more or less ready for, because she caught a stroke like 10 years ago. And she's been kind of like hospital ridden since then. And to me, I mean, that's strength in itself, because like she was slowly getting back to herself. And the only person, and my uncle would consistently visit her. And like anytime we wanted to see her, like my uncle would FaceTime. We would see my grandmother, and like it was like you could tell she was fine, but she wasn't 100% there, but she was cognizant. I think that's the word I'm looking for. She was aware of who he was. And then like the days when I was finally able to see her in person, I was able to take it, and then like she seeing us, and you could just tell like she would squeeze my hand, and she's like, you could tell she was like, oh my God, look how big they gotten. Like, and like they used to, and she was a lively person too. It was just like the one story my mom loved telling, because she used to live with us at times. She would live with us, and I guess this was one time when I was a kid and I was on punishment. And me as a kid, I was on punishment all the time. So one time when my friend was walking through the door, I don't remember who it was, but they was asking me if I could go outside. I was like, I can't, I'm on punishment. And my grandmother, she overheard the conversation I was having at the door. And be mindful, I was a kid. So, but she loved it. So my friend was like, go ask your grandmother. Go ask your grandmother. And I said, my grandma don't pay no bills in this house. Bro, I'm on punishment. I just gotta just sit there and eat this shit. If I never said that, my grandmother my grandmother would have let me just go out, and she was like, I'll take the blame for it. She was, because grandma, how grandmothers do. But she loved the fact that I took control of that situation, and I wasn't trying to manipulate, and it was just like I'm standing my ground, because I used to be on punishment so bad. My mom, like me and my mom, we joke about this sometimes, because I was a knucklehead, but I would be on punishment for so long that my mom would forget that I was on punishment. And like she would go, there'd be times when I'm in the house, and it's like a nice Saturday morning, and whenever she wanted the house to herself, she was like, boy, why ain't you outside? It's outside. I'm like, I'm on punishment, Mom. It was like, oh, boy, go outside. And that's how I said, all right. And I just walked it. Look, I used to get on punishment so badly that, you know how you used to, as a kid, you used to whine when you're on punishment. Like, I used to get on punishment so badly that my mom be like, you're on punishment for like a month. And I just go, okay. And it's not that I was being smart, or it's just like, at some point, and I told you I was a knucklehead, especially it's like on some things. At some point, like, I used to do so much knucklehead shit that when I got on punishment, I already knew. Which is why I tell people, it's like, I don't lie much. One, I'm a bad liar. Two, like, according to my peoples, when I tell the truth, it's so much funnier, and it's just like, so I tell people all the time, yeah, just tell the truth. This is why I tell people, just be honest. They'll respect you more when you tell the truth, and probably get a bigger laugh out of it instead of a lie. So, and I used to just tell the parents the truth, and it was just like that. But My grandmother, she loved the fact that I handled that. She was just like, he handled, and my mother would tell me that story all the time. Now, me, it's just like, it's embarrassed. I feel like embarrassment. It's like, damn, I just said that about grandmother? Because like, my grandma don't pay no bills around here. But for what my mother said, oh, she loved that. She was like, you took charge. She loved that. It's, to me, it's still embarrassing. But I love, yeah, but I love my grandmother. Like, um, I wouldn't know much about tennis if it wasn't. We would sit there, and she loved herself some Rafael Nadal. She hated Federer, and I used to just like Federer, but I like Federer because my other little sister, she actually did tennis, so I just do it in spite of her. But she loved herself some Rafael Nadal. She loved herself some tennis, but as far as like my grandmother, yes, she was. She was in Benny Cummings Quiet. If you ever look up Benny Cummings Quiet, just look it up. She had a sweet ass. Excuse me. She has a very angelic voice. She has one of the greatest voices you will ever hear. That is not like your. To me, she's up there with the Whitneys, the Mariahs. Like I love hearing my grandmother sing. Anytime, and she was like royalty when it came to, because she could tear a house down. She had such a great voice. So, but I was able to go to my grandmother's funeral. That one, I had to be strong, but like that one, I was strong for it. But according to everybody was just breaking down. But even like I knew that she was going to pass away because like it was killing her more. She got to a point where it's just like it was killing her more, keeping her alive than it was just letting her pass. So it was like she would be alive, but she was be in pain. So that one I was like more prepared for. It still sucked, but I was more prepared for that. And going to that one, I was able to go to the funeral bereavement. I had some bereavement. I was able to go to that one, and that's when I saw like family that I ain't seen in like decades, and especially like since my uncle's wedding. I still like I have a bunch of stories. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things where I have a bunch of stories in my head. I could sooner or later I'll tell you the story of like me, my uncle telling me to go get somebody, and it was his future wife, and I didn't even know who she was, but I always said like God guided me to the person because I got it on the first try because I never knew who Aunt May was. But I think I told that story, but I'll tell that some other time. But that was the first time I met Donnie McClurkin. Yeah. But I still don't think he even noticed me. He just said, "What's up, brother?" and all that other stuff, and I just moved on. But I always tell people I saw Donnie McClurkin. But that's just me. But listening to Donnie McClurkin, because he did that in his church. It was like, which is in New York, and watching him give a eulogy to my grandmother was very beautiful. And like he was giving out history lessons about where my grandmother and the Church of God of Christ at the King's Temple, like he was basically he came from where my grandmother was. Like my I don't want to say my grandmother made Donnie McClurkin, but like you probably wouldn't get Donnie McClurkin if you didn't get my grandmother. I think I can at least say that. It's like that. So watching him give a eulogy to my grandmother, it was just like it was very beautiful, and like watching everybody cry, it was just it was another thing. It was just like like I don't like to this day, I still it's like felt like she's watching over me. But I always like my grandmother is. I always feel like she, like I said, she always watching over me. She always prayed over me, and I think her blessings is what kept me alive and what kept me out of trouble. Because, especially in the Navy, because when I was, and this is probably one of the last stories. When I was telling people I was joining the Navy, and this was during the time during the war in Iraq, a lot of people didn't want me to join the Navy because, the war in Iraq, and they thought that, I'm going to be out there with, trying to look for Bin Laden and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm going to be on the ship. But they didn't know that, but they, you don't know that. You just know that the war in Iraq is going on, and you're just worried. I remember telling my grandmother, and she was like, excited. She was like, I love being man in uniform. She loves the Navy. And she loved everything about the Navy. And she was happy that I was there. So, like, part of me wanted to just graduate boot camp because of my grandmother. And, like, I felt like even then, throughout that whole spin of the Navy, it's just like, she's the reason why I say I know God is real. Because there's been times where, like, I should have been would have been a mask or something like that. Not saying that I was a screw up, or even then I was trying to be less of a knucklehead. But there's times where I snapped and people kind of understood. But I was in engineering. Thank God I was in engineering and not in any other division. Excuse me. But I also proved myself to be worthy. And like I said, it was just one of those time and events. And I always said my grandmother was watching over me. My grandmother's prayers was watching over me. And so was my uncle. So it was just like I had two of the greatest people that I call them both God's first round draft picks. That's what I got. It's like, to me, it was just like, this is probably like me, the most I've opened up about this since their passing. Since it's now been a year later. And like, even if a year later, it's just like, dang, they're not here no more. Especially like when, but you still feel their spirit. I think I still feel their spirit. Like, I used to just imitate my uncle all the time. And he loved the fact that I was like the Eddie Murphy of the family. Like, anytime when I did the story and my mom would tell me the story, it'd be so hilarious. And he was just like, you keep me laughing, you keep me going. And he told me one time, it was just like, and I remember that because we was having a conversation, and this is why I wasn't getting along with my mother at this point. And, but I still loved her. And I was like, he was like, how you feel about mom? And it was just like, look, I still love her, but it's just like, I don't know if this, we was just going through stuff. He was like, I'm glad you hear that, because, that is still your mom's. And he just gave me some game, and like, me and him, we chopped it up. I remember just one time we just chopped it up about life, and like, he was telling me some of his stories that, like, it was very inspirational. And like, him, my like I said, so having them just going, I feel like they're still around me, but it's just like, I had to tell my cousin, because like I said, my cousin took it the hardest, and like, it hurt him. And I was just like, so, because he was the one doing most of the eulogies, and I think he's doing God's work now. I know he's being a pastor, or like in training to become a pastor, and he has a great stature for it. He grew up in the church, so he has a great fortitude for it. But I know it was hurting him most, and I had to tell him the same thing. It was just like, I feel like Uncle Walter would have told me. It was just like, it's on us now. It's like, we got to be the ones to keep the family together now. And I remember him telling me, it was just like, yo, there's going to be a day God calls upon you to keep the family together. Like, keep everything You're gonna have to take that leadership role one day. And I told him the same thing Uncle Walter told me. He was just like, yo, it's up to us. I remember right after he passed, he was just like, hey, yo, we're going to be the ones that they're going to be looking at for strength. And you got to be strong. I understand, like, you can do all the crying. I was like, because it's our uncle and it's close to us. Like I said, our family is close knit. So, like, think of 300, but like with family. It was like, it was one of those. So, and I told him, I was just like, yeah, you're going to, like, it hurts, but yeah, you gotta, I always told him, you gotta be strong for us, because that's what, I know that's what Uncle Walter would want of us, can, like, and especially when grandma, that they're just like having both of those, and it's just like, to me, it was just like, God was telling us that we are next, and it's us time to, like, it's our time to, like, show how we keep the family together and all that stuff. Excuse me. Like, I'm still like it's, you can tell it still gets to me this day, but the fact that I can get this, and this is where I want to end this. I am blessed to be in the family that I'm in. Coming down to my grandfather, like, on both sides of the family, it's so much that I feel like I'm privileged. That even though we didn't grow up rich and with money or wealth, I think we were just rich to, like, we're families. As far as our family wise, and it's like, because I feel like we have something that other people wish they had, as far as family goes. And I feel like that's, to me, that makes us privileged, to the point to where I thought all families was like our family. And I say this all the time on both sides. Like, I've had good role models on both sides of the family, to where other people kind of like, they come to us and it's just like, we give off the vibe of, that good vibe to get others, spread the love. And, like, I always loved that about the family, to where it's just like, people used to come and stay over. I know I used to say this all the time. People used to come and stay over our spot just because we were that family. And it's just like, I felt like people just loved our vibe or something like that. But, and to me, it's all thanks to the family I grew up with. On both sides too, but especially my grandmother and my uncle too. And I hope I made them proud, and I hope I make my baby sister proud, my lady. To this day, I was like, I hope I'm doing everything to try to make y'all proud. To even, like, me opening up about this, because I feel like if this, because I wanted to do this when they died, and it's just like, everything, I couldn't even look at the camera. Like, I had my camera set up, I was going to get this beautiful eulogy, but I was just like, I couldn't fathom myself. And it was, like I said, it was just like, I knew that their time was, well, my uncle was like, it was abrupt, but my grandmother, it was just one of those things where it's just like, damn, they really gone. To where it's just like, all right, 2026, it's just like, we starting new, and you just like, I want to get to, and I feel like it affected the world too. So, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, I want to make sure I'm good, and then I want to make sure the family's good, because, and I should do more. It's like, there's a lot of things that I feel like in 2026 I should be able to move into, and do better, and always try to be better. And that's why I think that's the thing. We just try to be better people every day. But rest in peace. I will leave this. Rest in peace to my late. Happy birthday. Rest in peace to my Uncle Walter and my grandmother, Betty Jean. It's like your legacy will always live on into our families, and I'm blessed with everything that y'all done gave us. So I hope I did this justice. But let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Moschino Flying. I'm out. Peace.